You know, my pornography addiction, I can guarantee, cost me millions of dollars from 2013 to 2018. Not something I've talked a lot about here. You know, if you thought about it long and hard enough, you could think of hundreds of reasons why you're still addicted to pornography. Your life is stressful. You don't have the energy. You don't have the discipline. You were hurt when you were a little boy. Your parents did a bad job of raising you. Susie from the prom rejected you when you were in high school. Your wife doesn't love you. Your wife doesn't have sex with you. You got rejected from Amy at the office. Whatever it is, like I said, I'm sure if you spend enough time playing the victim in your life, you could think of thousands of reasons of why you're addicted to pornography. But after spending the last 3 years here at Rebuilt Recovery, working hand in hand with men daily in the trenches, having led hundreds of men to freedom from pornography, I've narrowed it down to 3 reasons why you're still struggling, why you're still addicted to pornography, and why you haven't yet broken the chain of this addiction. And in this video, I want to break down each one of these reasons and share with you how this limiting mindset, how thinking like a victim is the only reason you're still struggling. So if you could identify where you're showing up in life and how you're utilizing one of these reasons as an excuse to why you're still struggling, then brother, I'm telling you, you will have the keys to your freedom. And if you want some help and if you want an actual plan and process, then down there in the pinned comment below, what I'm gonna do is I'll put a link to our free book. It's a 7-step guide to living life without porn. Over the last 2.5 years, this book has been utilized by over 4,000 men to help them understand and identify all the reasons in which they are still struggling, but how to build a process and how to actually be intentional about how you show up every single day. So that's the 7-step guide. I'm gonna link it down there in the first pinned comment below. But reason number 1 why you're still struggling with pornography addiction is you just haven't committed yet. You haven't committed yourself to doing whatever it takes. And yes, brother, I'm talking about whatever it takes to quit porn, to reboot your brain. Now, maybe the lack of commitment is because you're still holding on to pornography. You still feel that there's something inside of pornography that's there for you. Now, even with all the guilt and shame and how it's showing up in the negative effects on your life, when you return back to porn and it makes you feel all gushy inside, that's it. You're seeking the pleasure instead of understanding that you must work through the pain. But brother, once you make a commitment, like I did on February 14th of 2019, once you make that commitment to yourself, that you're willing to do whatever it takes, and it doesn't matter how hard, how difficult, how long you've been addicted. A true commitment is, I will do this no matter what it takes. And that's what it takes to succeed. You want to build the biggest company in the world. You want to make millions of dollars. You want to get 6% body fat. You want to attract the beautiful woman into your life. Commit to it. Commit with 100% certainty that no matter what it is going to take, you're willing to do it. So that's the first reason I see so many men still struggling with porn, is they just haven't committed to freedom. Now, reason number 2, maybe you haven't hit rock bottom yet. You know, my pornography addiction, I can guarantee, cost me millions of dollars from 2013 to 2018. Not something I've talked a lot about here, but I was running a very successful ticket brokerage. Hundreds of thousands of dollars per year we were generating. We did millions of dollars in sales. But this was at the time that I was beginning to step into entrepreneurship. So I had a lot of freedom in my schedule. I was working from home. So I'd work a couple hours in the morning, then I'd take the rest of the day off, and I'd spend 4, 5, 6, 7 hours consuming pornography. And I didn't identify it at the time because we were winning, we were succeeding, we were making a decent amount of money. But as I reflect back, had I been focused, had I been disciplined, and had I actually been working the amount of time that I should have been working, I can guarantee it would have generated millions of dollars. Now that business went under. We lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? That was a part of my rock bottom moment. So maybe for you, it just hasn't been painful enough. And maybe that's why you're not committed yet, because you haven't been hurt enough. Maybe you've lost one relationship, but you haven't lost your daughter yet. Maybe you're not showing up at work. Maybe you're struggling with motivation, but it hasn't cost you your livelihood yet. Maybe you know that you're destined for more, but you're coasting by in life. So it hasn't cost you enough yet. Now, I don't think that we should get to rock bottom. That's not a place I like to see men living in. You know, we've had a lot of conversations on the podcast of people breaking out of those rock bottom moments. So I do believe that once you're there, you can get out of it. But maybe you're still struggling because you haven't hit that part yet. So today's video should be a wake-up call to you. That if I wait until I hit that rock bottom, my journey is gonna be a lot more difficult than what it would be if I made that commitment right now. So if you're recognizing that you haven't hit rock bottom yet, and that's the reason why you're still struggling, brother, today you need to make that commitment to doing whatever it takes. And then the third reason you're still struggling with porn addiction is maybe you don't believe in yourself. You know, I've talked about this pretty at length here on this channel. The number one thing I see holding most men back, even inside of our programs, is the lack of belief in and of themselves. Because I know what it's like to live as a porn addict. You've told yourself, this is the last time. You've told yourself before, I'm committed to quitting. You've told yourself before, I'm never returning back to this. But because you didn't have the proper community, you didn't have the proper support system, you didn't actually know what you needed to do. 5, 6, 7, 10 days later, you find yourself returning back to the same place where you're looking at and consuming more pornography. So somewhere inside of your subconscious, you're like, hey, you said you're gonna do this before, but you keep returning back. So it's eating away at your belief in yourself. And if you don't believe that you can create a life 100% free of pornography, then brother, a life 100% free of pornography will never be yours. So is it a commitment issue? Is it you haven't lacked or you haven't hit rock bottom yet? Because you don't believe and you don't possess the confidence in and of yourself to actually do this. Now, like I said, man, we wanna walk alongside you in this journey. So down there in the pinned comment below, I'm gonna link to our free ebook. It's a 7-step guide to living life without porn. Check it out there down there below, guys. But literally, if you take the action on these steps every single day, build a community around yourself, get the accountability needed, then not only is freedom from pornography in your future, but brother, I'm telling you, you will create a life of purpose, a life of meaning, and ultimately the life that you were designed and meant to be living. Coach Frank from Recovery, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.